injury-wise today, Cam Curl will be out with a knee, Kevin Dotson with an ankle, Demarcus Robinson with a toe, Rob Havenstein with his ankle, Neville Gallimore with his shoulder, and then we'll have a bunch of other limited guys.
On Kevin and Cam, do you still expect them to be able to go?
I do, yeah. I think it's, I mean, anytime that you have a lower extremity to a receiver, you want to be smart with that, but he's tough, he feels good. It's not something that we don't think we can treat. He's good. He's back. He's feeling good, so good to be able to have Ethan back. It feels like we're at home again. I mean, this is something that we've dealt with for a while, so it's you just kind of have to deal with it. It does affect a couple different things, but it is what it is, and so we'll focus on the things we can control. Not that I know of. I know that was some scary stuff, especially some people lost power. I know Les was out of his house temporarily, but fortunately I don't think anybody's been specifically affected.
Jonah's returning to practice today. We expect him to bring back how do you decide which spot he's going to practice?
Say that again for me again.
Like how do you decide which spot Jonah comes back at, given how he's worked at both left guard?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you know what? We'll give him an opportunity to be able to get some work at both. And so, Steve will be able to get some work as well. And so, it's good to be able to have those guys back out on the practice field. We have had a lot of moving parts on the offensive line, so certainly something we're used to.
How do you weigh continuity versus having guys off the practice?
I think you got to be able to try to trust your gut, make an evaluation on, ultimately what we think is going to be best and where are these guys at physically. Obviously, these are special players and guys that have played a lot of really good football in this league. So it's part of the evaluation. That's what's challenging just when you have limited repetitions during the course of the week leading into the game. But, we'll evaluate it, and then, it's a combination of both performance-based and then how are they feeling medically.
When you study the Dolphins, they've been through a lot this year, as you know. How do you look at sort of that middle area where they didn't have Tua or all of their personnel and saw what they were doing structurally there, or do you look at what this offense really is with him at quarterback and the timing elements and those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, there's a definite difference in terms of the 4 games when he's in there and when he isn't. Now you still see some similar parts of their offense and some of the things that Mike will activate, but there's a difference when they've got their guy at the switch in there, and so you are you're aware of that, but you can't ignore the other things that are part of the evaluation process that still is things that they can do, but it's a different vibe, without a doubt, when he's in there.
What will it be like or what is it like scheme against defense with Jalen, playing against him now?
Yeah, you see the guy that you're familiar with just going against him. And physical player, position flex, versatility, he's got that edge. He's one of those guys that's so disruptive. He can make plays as a blitzer. If he gets his hands on the ball, demonstrated by last week, he's usually going to catch it. And, great player. And you see a lot of the same things that made him such a fun guy to watch him do his thing here. And hopefully that won't be the case on Monday night.
Sean, what this team has gone through in terms of coming back to win games, winning in the fashion that they have, going through what they have, how did that bring a team together? I mean, sometimes a coach will try to do things to bring a team together, but what you guys have gone through, talk about how tight this group is at this point.
Well, I think they're coming together. There's a lot of, it's a good blend of, some veterans with some good experience and then some youth in terms of these guys. They just continue to fight and they've got a great spirit about them. But I think you learn as you gain experience with people, and we've certainly had a lot of experiences in our 8 games. But it's been a really fun group to be able to learn with. And it's always about that journey. And for us, we want to continue to strive to play, quality football in all 3 phases, but also know that football is not a perfect game and figure out, hey, how do we stay together in the midst of the inevitable ebbs and flows that take place in the, throughout the course of a game. And I think we've stayed together pretty well. Now, we want to be able to play more complete football. I think our guys know that, but there's been a lot of resilience, a lot of mental toughness that's been demonstrated by this group, and they just kind of stay in the fight, and that's what I love about them.
You mentioned after the win against Seattle that, despite the glorious finish, it's going to be an honest conversation internally with yourself and your group about the offense and the lack of production and yards per play being down and all of those things. What did you find in the self-scout and what sort of, I guess, are priorities for fixing for you?
I think really execution. I mean, you look at it, there was our best runs all got called back, by things that didn't need to occur, but we were holding on those, but it didn't affect the play. It was just technical things, and that changes the momentum in the course of a drive, or just overall execution. There was some miscommunications and noisy atmosphere, but there's been some of those themes that have consistently come up, and we just keep coaching, keep trying to communicate, keep trying to have that clarity. And the enemy does have a say, but the things that you understand that they did a good job. I give a lot of respect for some of the different things, but then when we're beating ourselves, those are the things where it's like there's got to be an uptick in the urgency. And when you look at 3 explosive runs that get called back that change the whole dynamic of drives, some different miscues as it relates to who we want to be targeted on protection-wise, those are the things where we're better than that, guys. And those are the things that I think change the course of finishing drives, not having some of the 3 and outs. And that's, you just tell them the truth and you try to be able to give solutions, and then you keep moving.
When you guys traded, you guys put it in, what do you remember about some of the conversations you had with him and who representatives about whether he would be there anymore?
Sure.
And were you guys
See, I love Jalen. He was. We have a cool relationship, and he knows the respect, the admiration that I have for him as a player, what he meant to this team. There was a lot of tough decisions that were, on the horizon for us as a football team, and it didn't have anything to do with us not wanting him here. There was a lot of things that we had to do as a result of some previous years and things of that nature. He understood that, and so it was important for us, based on what he had done for us, to try to be able to find, a situation that suited both parties. Miami was somebody that was interested. Les and Chris Greer were able to work out a deal. He was excited about that, and David Mogetta has always been a guy that, whether it's with Jalen or some other clients, I've always appreciated what a pro he is, how straightforward, direct, and he's a guy that can get stuff done, and he can be very helpful in facilitating that. So it was smooth. I think Jalen was excited about that, while also appreciative of a lot of great memories that we were able to have together.
Coach, this defense was littered with second and first year players. Can you talk to me about the development of the defense and what excites you about them moving forward?
I think just that, it's littered with a bunch of guys that are continuing to get better. They come to work every single day. They're incredibly coachable. There's a lot of versatility in terms of what the skill set of these individuals that you're talking about have. I think Chris Shula and our defensive coaching staff have done a great job of really being able to bring it to life, or give them an opportunity where ultimately the players bring it to life. And so there's a swag, there's a presence, but there's an ability to know, like, let's stay humble, let's continue to improve. But I really have enjoyed being around this group, and they're fun, and I think we can all see that. They're hard to not want to see these guys do well. They've got a contagious energy and enthusiasm about themselves. It's coming down.
Hey, Matthew, having seen already just another variation of this defensive coaching tree that you'll be seeing in Miami, does it look at all similar to you? Are there different tenets that are showing up to you on tape? Or?
Yeah, I mean it does some. A lot of times, you prepare for something and you go out there being a veteran quarterback and a respected play caller like Sean, and you get a lot of different stuff than what you see on tape. So we got to say, it's more about what we do than what the other team does. Obviously, there were some plays that, when you look back last week, we could have done a whole lot better. That would have given us opportunities to put points on the board, and if we can just execute a little bit better, then we'll play better, and that's the biggest takeaway from last week, especially going into this week. I think you look at Miami's defense. Fantastic players at all levels. Veteran guys that understand what it takes to win in this league, and a really misleading record when you look at how they play football when they're healthy.
What's it like to prepare for to go against Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, I've practiced against him for a while there, and I have so much respect for who he is as a player, teammate. He affects the game in so many different ways. Even if like a lot of times guys are staying away from him, it's basically a one-for-one, that he's taken away out there. So he's doing a heck of a job, like he always does. He's, mixing it in there in the run game, finishing plays, blitzing, sacking the quarterback. Gets a tipped interception last week. He's doing all the things you want from Jalen Ramsey, and I got a ton of respect for him. Had an amazing time playing with him as a teammate, and that'll be a big challenge for us, come Monday night.
What's it like having Jonah back in practice?
It's great to have those guys back in practice. You know, kind of rotating around, trying to get the feel of you know, who's going to be available, who's going to be ready to go. But anytime you get more really good football players out on our field and, you know, in our offensive group, the better. And those guys are really solid guys for us. Yeah, I mean, it still jumps off the tape. Yeah, I mean, some of the plays that he makes down the field, tracking the football or blitzing the quarterback, batting balls down, whatever it is, he's still got all the tools that you would want at a corner. I mean, he's I remember watching him when he was in college, you know, and doing all the stuff he did, and then just tracking his career. He's been an incredible player for a long time and still doing it at a high level.
We talked a lot in the past about how DeMarcus just gets open. What is it that he does so well that allows him to create separation?
You know, I think for a guy his size, he's sudden and explosive. You know, he's not a small person. He's a big dude, wiry, sudden mover, has a great feel for you know, what's going to get him open. Some guys just have great feel. He does a great job of that, you know, especially in those sticky man-to-man type situations. And then he's done a nice job of finishing some big plays for us. So that's a huge plus.
When we talked to you after the game, you had that single one-handed catch. What was your reaction?
Amazing, yeah. It was an amazing catch. A great play. From my angle, I didn't know. He just got up with such confidence. I knew he didn't drop it. So glad he made the play he made, and glad it worked out for us.
Kind of a two-part question, if you don't mind. When you players, teammates here and then elsewhere have talked about like when you flip into that one certain mode, you know, the finger guns and some of the soul snatching stuff you've talked about in the past, that it channels in a certain way where they can feel it. How did you like understand how to get in and out of that place as you grew up, basically?
I don't know. I don't know that I do. You know, I just I try to go out there and compete the best of my ability on every single play. You know, sometimes there's a little bit you know, more success. And when you get that success, sometimes that you know, gets you in the zone even more. And you know, so I just always trying to compete as hard as I possibly can, trying to bring guys along with me. And I'm glad they can feel it. I'm just out there trying to do my best, have a bunch of fun.
Yeah, to that point, young guys, like you're kind of watching guys like Puka and also Jared Verse, frankly, learn how to channel all the things that they feel and all the adrenaline and all that, you know, excelling level of play into one direction. How are you watching them handle that?
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Yeah, I just think about Verse's first couple of practice here, you know, in OTAs with no pads on. He's running over people, and we're trying to teach him how to, you know, practice with our own team and do all that kind of stuff. And the growth that he's had has been amazing to watch and see. And you know, I think there's a bunch of young guys on our team that are you know, growing up quickly and doing a good job of it. So I mean, I don't know if they're taking any clues from me. I don't talk as much as Verse, but if they're taking clues, they're taking clues.
Running backs often talk about getting on the roll. For you, in terms of touchdown passes, the last couple of games, it seems like your production has really increased. Is that something like that you as a quarterback try and ride or can feel, or?
I think every game's different, and you know, they're a good sign because that means we're getting in the end zone. But whether I hand it to Kyron for a gain of 2 and we score, or we throw it, it doesn't matter much to me, to be honest with you. I just want us to get in the end zone as best we can. It's happened that we've thrown the ball in the end zone a few times the last couple of weeks, and it's worked out for us. So that's a huge plus for us. But I think you ask anybody on our team, we just want to get it in there. We don't care how it works. I've been on certain teams where you know, we've struggled to run the ball, and that was kind of our best way to get it in the end zone. We'd trot this guy number 81 out over there, and if they put one guy on him, I'd throw it to him. You know, but you know, and certain teams is different, right? Like every dynamic of every team is better or is different, and sometimes we're better at, hey, running it down there low, and we've done a great job this year of running it down, you know, inside the 5-yard line and getting the ball in the end zone. So you know, week to week, depending on what the defense is going to give you, you got to go out there and attack it. And certain weeks that's been handing the ball off, and other weeks it's been, hey, let's try to, you know, create some matchups in the pass game. So we just go out there and try to get the ball in the end zone any way we can. Cool. Oh. Yeah, I mean, no real difference to him as a player. You know, I think he's just gotten some more opportunities. The coverage has kind of dictated that the ball goes to him, and he's done a great job of making the plays. And a couple weeks ago, they wanted to press him on a play, and I gave him an opportunity. He made a great play. Last week to end the game. It's not a play we're designing to throw there. We're just kind of designed to get out on the edge and try to make a play. But he made the play. So he's just getting some opportunities coming down with him, and that's the biggest difference.
How do you feel like you've developed in your time in the pros, and what do you think are the main things that you've been able to improve on throughout your time with the Rams?
I think it's the small technicality things. Like, I've always been pretty strong, fast. I've gotten faster. That's definitely a big thing. But it's just kind of the technicality things, small things here and there, hand movements. Taking this step instead of that step, stepping with that foot instead of this one because it's a little quicker, everything like that.
How do you get faster? Once you're already a pretty fast edge guy. How do you work on that?
It's just being intentional with everything. I mean, I'm not like a DB or anything. Like, I don't need a good 100-yard sprint. Like, you don't need to see me like dropping 50 yards down the field. If that's happening, there's a problem somewhere. But it's more so like my first couple steps, getting faster than that 5 yards.
And you and Byron are one of the best young edge rushers in the league. He says that he looks up to you as much as you look up to him and emulate each other. What does that mean to you as a young player in this league?
It means a lot. I mean, B's like kind of the prototype of player I want to be like. Like, the fact that he's getting better every day. I've watched him since I've been here get faster, get stronger. Just in the time I've been here, movements quicker, like this quicker, that's faster. And the fact that he sees the same thing in me just means a lot.
And you get a lot of Rookie of the Year buzz. What does that mean to you? Do you try to do you pay attention to that kind of stuff?
Not at all. No, it's I'm focused on the next game. I don't care about any awards, anything. That all come with how I play and if I do the things I'm meant to do.
And the guys that you go against, you talk a lot of smack to those guys. Do you feel like that has a big impact on the game and the flow of how you're able to perform?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I mean, I try to get in people's head, but even if you're not getting I'm not getting in your head, has two factors to it. And the second one is to hype me up, get me more into it, more hyped up, get the adrenaline flowing, and I'm a whole nother player than if I'm just relaxed.
How's it been just kind of getting back out there and testing the waters a little bit?
It's been great. This is what came here to do. This is what we live for, and it feels good to be back out there with the guys. I was getting tired of watching from afar for 8 weeks, but we've been working, paying dividends, and it's time to go. And
how do you kind of rebuild the chemistry on the offensive line? As someone who hasn't played a lot of games with the people next to them.
Offensive line's a tight knit group. We do things off the field. We know who each other are personally and as a player and as a person. So, once we get back on the field, guys kind of get a feel. It takes maybe a day or two, a couple reps or two, and then it's back to how we've been rocking. So, I feel like today was a great day. Me, Steve, even Justin out there. K-Dot wasn't out there today, but just us three as a completely new unit. We were working in tandem great. So.
And Ryan Wendell, he's got a lot, of control over that group, and Coach McVay's been super generous with how much impact he has on you guys. So what are the things that he does well to get you guys ready to go each week?
Yeah, I mean, he just keeps everybody ready. We have the next man up mentality. So whether it's Justin being in there, Steve being in there, Bo being in there, Bruss being in there, whoever's in there, we're all ready to go. He keeps our I's dotted and our T's crossed for us. So.
And as a veteran, what do you have when you're out like that to say, and what advice do you have to give to some of the younger guys who are stepping up into those roles?
What? When I'm not playing? Just take advantage of every snap. You never know. You could be there forever. You could keep the spot. So take advantage of it, enjoy it. Use it as learning opportunities for when you do get that full-time start and rolling to keep it rolling.
And what kind of challenges is Miami going to present for you guys this upcoming week?
They got a good front seven. I mean, good defense as a total. Offense is awesome too. They got a good rush. They're good at stopping the run, so it's going to be a good fight.
And is it get a little amped up when you come back and it's a primetime game? Like, what kind of effect does that have on you?
I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years. I played in some primetime games. It's awesome being able to play in a primetime game, but we're just back to it like we never left. So. Excited. Yes, sir.
What was it like, stepping up in a big time moment in overtime to make that catch in this past week?
Just trusting my preparation. I'm thankful for the opportunity to go out there and make a play. The ball was in the air, and my mindset when the ball is in the air is the only thing that matters is the ball. So it was on me to come down with it. Nine trusted me to go get it. So I was just grateful to contribute to this win.
Did you see Tariq Woolen, kind of waiting there? Did you kind of like know that was part of the play, or did you kind of just go after the ball?
No, I was just going after the ball. I trusted Nine. He was going to put the ball at the right spot. And so, like I said, just went out there, and when the ball was in the air, just had to come down with it.
And when when the team loses somebody like Puka in that game, how do you respond and are able to, pick everybody up and step up in that role?
We're a close group of guys. We all, we bring a lot to the table, and each one of us trusts one another. So when our number's called, we all rooting for the next man up, and we're just excited to see one another make plays. So, obviously, Puka was upset about that, but he trusted us. He was one of the first players at that locker room when we all got back. So, great teammate, great guy, and I'm pretty sure he was happy about us going out there and making plays.
And what kind of challenges are Miami gonna present for you guys this coming week? With a guy like Jalen Ramsey, who a lot of the guys in this locker room know pretty well.
Oh, great defense over there. It's on us to go out there and just do our job. Control with control, make plays, and do our assignment at a high level. So we do that. We're in good shape for this weekend.
What's kind of like the mood in the locker room after 3 straight wins coming out of the bye? Like, obviously, I know you guys are a close-knit unit, but is there an added level of hype or of confidence after those wins?
It's just back to work. Can't ride the roller coaster too long for real. Just gotta get back to it, 1 week at a time.